are, in case people don't know who we are. I'm Michael Demores, I'm president of the chamber at this moment.
John Cobb, I'm the vice president of the chamber and the administrator for the town of Wellston.
I'm Bob Palmer. I'm with the Red Dirt Art Gallery.
David Smith, Lincoln County Health Department, TSEC.
Marcia Galloway, I'm the treasurer for the chamber.
Chad and Kristen Hiltz, we're with the Wellston Herald.
Jimmy Payne.
Mama Payne.
Katie Knoppers, Providence Realty.
I'm Jake Snyder, it's my life race and dispensary on 2nd Street.
And Michelle Stanley and Farmers Market Manager.
Guest speaker, I really wanted to fill this and let Dr. Palmer have this time to talk about, we'll go in more in depth on the street feast, but his portion of what he's going to be doing for the art gallery on the same day, which is Saturday, September the 28th. He's going to be doing a painting contest with all of the schools around, which will be Wellston, Luther, and Chandler. I have contacted all the schools to find out exactly how many kids they have from 1st to 6th grade for you. We got roughly 1,200 kids that could potentially be over here with them and their families. So it could turn out to be a good day.
That's a lot.
Yes, they have a lot.
We're going to have what's called a street art contest. We're looking at grade 6, 1st through 6th. We are going to start out in the VA hall. Is that it? American Legion. Basically, we're going to give them all a sheet of paper, and then we're going to just let them paint their little hearts out. They can paint anything they want. The artists in the gallery, we have a co-op gallery. We have about 8 to 10 artists in there, and they're going to be our judges for that. We're going to give out ribbons, and I think we even have some cash prizes. I think it'll be fun. We're going to try to do the painting from like 10 to noon, and then we're going to hang them up like you would clothes on clothesline so that you can see all the artwork, and then the judges will be do the judging. We hope to be through by 2, so from 10 to 2 is kind of our main time, and I just think it'll be fun for the kids as they're waiting around while the judging. We're going to do chalk art so that there's always something to do for the kids, but I thought it'd be fun. Everyone can't win, so we might have some disappointed kids and parents, but we are going to give some honorable mentions, but we're going to give awards to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
And what I'm trying to do on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd is $100 per category. So for each grade, they'll be split down from 50 for 1st place, 35 and 15, and then like I said, we're going to do ribbons for the next 3 out. So each grade will have 6 either ribbons and or cash, and then within that, it's kind of hard not to tie it together, but let's skip down real quick so we can talk about, might as well just talk about this. Within that, there's potential a lot of people to be here, so I think it would be great for us to do hamburgers and hot dog meals for that lunch time from 11 to 1 over in the park area. It'll be right across from where everybody's at. It'll be down in that downtime when they're waiting on their kids to be judged, their paintings. So I think we can capitalize on that and make some good money for the chamber. And as far as the paintings, you said the cost is going to be somewhere around $400.
I think so, for the materials that we're going to be
Okay,
using.
that they wouldn't normally have to use, so they're wanting to see if we can, join in where they'll be bringing that many people into town. If we can join in and help them out with that cost, the chamber can. That way the artists don't have to absorb that cost themselves. I think it's a good idea. And then that night at 6 o'clock, we will have our street feast. It will be the crawfish boil. I did find out, we can get, even for our dates, we can get crawfish out of Louisiana flown to us overnight for, roughly $5 a person is what it'll work out to be, just barely over $5 a person. So I figured the whole meal will be somewhere between 8 and 10 a person, and we charge 15. That'll be the profit on top of it. And but if we can start selling them, you know, as soon as it gets authorized, then I think we can do pretty good with the crawfish boil. And we'll do sausage for anybody that wasn't here. We're gonna do a sausage boil instead of crawfish in that pot in case somebody's allergic to shellfish or something. And I am going for the $600 that it'll be for the cash prizes. I have, I'm asking the businesses around town to donate towards that, as well as, anything on the top of that, you know, that if they wanna, you know, for example, donate for the hamburgers and hot dogs or something, then we can put it towards that. But trying to get most of the costs covered, so we're actually all profit on it. And I do have, 3 businesses already said 100% guaranteed on that, so.
Michael, I have a comment. I'd like your input on the winners of the contest. My thought was just the kids could just take them home, but I thought maybe they might like to display them somewhere. It'd be kind of nice. But we don't really have enough wall space in the gallery, but I thought maybe either the library or maybe the city hall might have a place to display them. Do you think the kids would like that, or?
I think so. I think the library sounds like.
Or would they wanna take them back to their school to be displayed?
Yeah. But I
I think that's a great idea too, maybe try to get some worked out with the school, so
Yeah.
that
Make sure there's a rep
their
from each
peers can kind of
school
see.
Yeah.
if you take it back.
Okay.
So find a rep maybe that would be responsible for them.
Yeah, for each school, maybe school district, so.
That reminds me, so on each of the paintings, we'll need to put name and a school name in.
What schools did you say?
It'd be, Wellston, Luther, and, Chandler.
In White Rock?
White Rock would be.
I can, yeah, we can put in there, they shouldn't, I don't know how many they have.
Still.
5.
First through 6th grade, yeah,
10.
so there's, but, just real quick on that, there's 502 over in Chandler, there's 344 in Luther, and there's 251 here in Wellston, so, and then we'll add in White Rock. Alright, now, thanks for that, we'll bring all of this up again here in just a second in the actual agenda, but I wanted to give him a time to speak real quick. Where do I guess, let's do the July, review and approval of July meeting minutes. Okay, meeting minutes from July 29th, 2019, meeting called to order at 6:39 PM. Michael read the minutes from June 2019 meeting. John made a motion to approve. Marcia seconded. Marcia read treasurer's report. Michael made a motion to approve. John seconded. Previous business discussion as was had regarding the 2019 community fair. Michael said that he would solicit donations from the Butcher Barbecue. John said he would get a Walmart gift card. Sherry with T-Set committed a gift basket. New checking account has been set up for Farm and Craft Market. Farm and Craft Market has been moved to Jackson's electric parking lot. Still holding on light installation at the West Y.
I have a question about the, why did we move that to the Jackson Lake Department? Wasn't it just out there with the gazebo before?
Yeah, to move it on 66 for more exposure, because we were having
Okay, we
literally
put a sign out there to let them know
There was
so we
signs.
can get.
Yeah, there was signs.
We had signs out for a year, we put signs out on the weekends before.
And everybody was telling us that,
No vendors.
they'll come out there.
Because we're starting to, I mean, we have something to go down to downtown Wellston now. I mean, we have a shop down there, we have a restaurant, we have a spa down there. We just don't have any signage or exposure anywhere guiding people to downtown Wellston. I mean, you see places that are blowing up, like Luther and Jones, coming right up 66. I mean, just when I moved here, there was one sign out across from that cornfield. Now there's, I think, 8 out there. I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Either way, there's a lot of signs out there, and a lot of people are, supporting each other, and it's obviously working. I know quite a few folks that have moved up there. And it's doing
A
good
lot of
things.
that is, and those are privately owned signs from the businesses. The Farm Craft Market, we did put a sign out, a portable sign or a vinyl sign. And then as the chamber, we've sponsored the mural signs on both ends of town. Available space for your private business to advertise would be at the exit of the turnpike, or if you can find a property to allow you to post your signage there.
Even, I mean, I've seen the sign down on 66 right before West Y. It's off the beaten path, and it's at a place where you can't turn to
Right.
go to downtown Wellston. So unless you're specifically looking for a sign, you're not going to see it. I mean, I didn't see it until just recently. So at the point where you could actually get to downtown Wellston from 66, there's nothing telling them that anything's here. And then same going the other way, which is where we would get most of our traffic. There's just nothing.
We do have a sign up there, but the plan's long-term to put on a big permanent sign up there, but I don't know if you're aware that they're redoing the turnpike, so they're tearing out that bridge. It was voted on not to invest any major funds in putting signage out there until after the turnpike bridge is done. They're gonna tear all that out, close 66 for 6 months. We're not sure what the footprint will be to put up signage.
Does the town not own that spot right off of the gas station where it flies out? And then also like where the turnpike sign is?
No,
There's nothing we can do with that?
no. The town has no property there. We lease the space where our water tower is from the Turnpike Authority. All of that property in there is the Turnpike Authority. Basically from the commuter parking lot all the way to the storage units, that's all Turnpike property. And then from where our little sign is that we had painted, all the way to the Turnpike exit is Turnpike property. There's only place about right now that's available for signage is if you pull straight off the Turnpike, there's that. And then Thomas Tillison owns, as you're coming into town, on the north side of 66, billboards that he's installed in there that are available for rent. Unfortunately, the chamber funds to rent and put up signage for
No, I know what
business
you're
members, we don't have. Yeah.
What about that pecan cafe?
Now that is, there at Butch Melrose. I mean, that's,
Have you seen that one?
I've seen that one.
I have. And
Based on the.
I would say that would probably be available for,
I mean, it's not,
For
it's
some
not
good
useful
picture.
right now.
I don't
Right.
know what I'm talking about, just so I can explain it to you better. So, this is the gas station right across that parking lot. There's nothing on the back of that sign, I'm not saying they didn't put anything, if they own it, but.
so
What
this,
is-
okay, so this would be DOT. That's Department of Transportation. Cause this is, let's see, that would be going west. Right,
Yes.
and this is that grassy
Yes,
area right
yes.
there, yeah.
So that's DOT.
That's Department of Transportation.
What would we have to do to let them have us put up a sign for downtown?
So we can apply for signage from the state. And that's, driving through Luther this morning, they have those welcome to Luther signs. We need to try to get something like that. And so we just need to,
So we can apply for it?
I believe so. We
Can
have
do
to
that through
do
the
a
check?
chat.
Like, do we need to talk to you, like your business hours to get that done?
We can start something on that. See what we can get.
Because that'd be huge exposure for downtown, 'cause pretty much everybody that goes downtown is heading through that.
I don't know if they would put there, I don't know what the rules are, I have to look into that. See, the Department of Transportation, or the Turnpike Authority has some really strict rules about signage, regarding what you can get from them. It has to be a food establishment or a gas establishment within so many feet of the Turnpike exit. The ones that they will approve and put on their property. Nothing else they will. Department of Transportation though, which has the easements all along 66, they could possibly get us the Welcome to Wellston or the Wellston Town Limit sign like Luther has. I don't know why we don't have one. I don't know if it's just because it hasn't been brought up to them or applied for. Worst case scenario, we can get it on a town board meeting and the town can purchase them, given that the DOT will let us place them.
Will do.
If that makes,
I mean, we just have to apply, I guess, it seems like, for us to get any more answers.
well, I don't know if it's apply, DOT has to authorize the placement of the sign.
But on those easements, can individual business signs be placed like they are in?
Not in DOT's easement
Is
unless,
that not the
in
DOT
Luther?
easement in Luther?
no, those are, if you look at
They're
those are
far
all
enough
far
in.
enough into private property.
Okay.
Just like this chamber sign that we put up, that's within the fence of a private property. And all the ones
She
that,
gave us permission.
So what could we do with the water tower? Because that's huge,
Yeah,
and I
that
mean, we
is
could
huge.
literally, I know.
we need about
Farmers talked
$35,000.
about Even to hang a banner, we could hang up a big banner, and we could do that for cheap and put it up there and it would look nice, and people would see it, and they would see it from.
That's an avenue, we never really looked at, I don't know how we would affix it to it, but I'm sure we could find a way. It's a possibility, it would be cheaper.
I mean, just temporarily, until we can figure something else out, or.
And that's, that would be a town board discussion and decision on that.
Their decision,
Huh?
their decision on that?
Yes. That's a, Wellston Public Works Authority asset.
When is that voting for town board? Can that happen anytime? Can we call
Voting
for
for-
an election on that, or? That's what I'm asking.
To run for town board,
Yeah.
it's every 2 years, so the next one will be in 2021
2020.
or 2020. Yeah.
Charles is up in 2020.
Okay.
And that's when the mayor is elected as well.
No, we're a town form of government, so the mayor is appointed by the board of directors. So the mayor is a ceremonial title. It's a board form of government, so there's a chairman of the board and 4 trustees. Just like you would any board structure in a business. So all of them are trustees, they're elected at large within the municipal boundaries of the town.
So if you live inside city limits, you can vote for.
Or run for town board. But the board meetings are every month, third Thursday of every month. And that's where, and like if there's an item that you would like to get on the agenda, you can go to me at the town hall, or you can talk to one of the trustees, and we can get it on the agenda for them to discuss and take action on. Like the banner, for instance, that's a pretty good idea. If we can figure a way of doing it, it would be a lot cheaper. The goal is to paint that water tower and have it, other Dr. Palmer do something on it, or it's very expensive to paint a water tower. Very expensive. And unfortunately, funds for projects like that, infrastructure investment comes ahead of funds like that, unfortunately. But a banner, we could possibly raise some funds for that.
I think it does make a big difference to do
Makes-
little things like that. Luther's doing it, and like I said, it's clearly making a difference there, just optically.
If I can touch on something that would tie Luther, because Luther is doing a lot of the right things. We need active participants in committees. Luther has active participants in committees over there that are active in parks, in planning, and in constantly engaging with their elected officials.
These committees here, are these empty? Do we have any members?
So those are chamber committees in which, which help drive the social and the civic duties of the chamber.
Mhm.
The committees that are needed to be filled to drive the economic development of the community, and some of these projects, like the signage and things like that, are kind of at a town board form level. You need to come to those town board meetings.
But you have to be a member of the board to.
No, sir. No, absolutely not. No, they're open meetings, just like this is an open meeting, and minutes are taken and filed. So it's an open meeting, the third Thursday of every month at 6 o'clock, right over at Town Hall. If you have an item you would like to discuss on the agenda, and actually you can come and you would sign in at the beginning and you address the chairman of the board. You have 5 minutes to address the chairman of the board about ideas or thoughts. If it's something that the town can move forward on, they can put it on the next month's agenda as an action item, where they can vote for it. If it's an item that you can bring to myself or one of the board members previous to that, and it looks like something that we need to take action on, we can get it on an agenda. You need to have it in the week before the meeting. Now, not everything get put on an agenda, but if it's something, I mean,
Well, I'm just kind of wondering, because I know that people have been trying to push for this for a long time, and I can't believe that I'd be the first one to go to that.
push for
board.
what?
Signage and just.
Well, I mean, it's
getting
been on
attention
there,
right
it's just
now.
the funding mechanism. I mean, the water tower itself has been on the agenda. It's just, we don't have funding for it.
Yeah, you're the first person to bring up trying to hang a sign
Yeah,
on
there's-
it. That is a good idea for something right now kind of deal.
Good deal. Sorry, I hijacked that for a while.
Oh, you're fine.
Beautiful.
New business, it was discussed and voted on to purchase general liability insurance for
We
the
need to-
chamber, farm and craft market. John made the motion and Marcia seconded, motion passed. It was discussed and voted on, to hold the annual street feast on September 28th at 6 p.m. Michael made the motion, Marcia seconded, motion passed. It was discussed to purchase a square device for both chamber and farm and craft market. Purchase is under limit, motion not needed. No new business, meeting adjourned at 7:50 p.m. Okay.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for March 29th.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Motion carried. All right. July treasurer's reports.
Okay, in the chamber checking account, we had a balance of $7,507.03 on June 30th. We had no expenses that month, and one deposit of $25 for dues. So our balance as of July 31st was $7,532.03. Also, as was in the minutes, we started a checking account for the farm and craft market. So that was started July 1st with a deposit of $100 from vendor fees. Another deposit during the month was also was $73 of vendor fees. We had expenses to buy checks for the checking account of $28. Our balance as of July 31st in the farm and craft market account is $144.86.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed?
Motion carried. Okay, business horizon previous minutes, the construction on the lights, like we said, it's gonna be on hold for a while. I'm just gonna try to keep it on there so we don't lose sight of it, when we do hear more about it. If they don't have to move that sign, a permanent sign, then we'll go ahead and install the lights. If they're going to, then I'm not gonna waste our time to put them in.
On that, let me call DOT. I'm gonna call DOT this week and talk to Wendy with them and see what their timeline is on that. If it's gonna be 2 years out before they do it, we might as well install those lights. We have them. We just need volunteers to help pour.
Yeah, once we know, once I have a go, I'll contact, if they say it's gonna be 2 or 3 years, I just don't wanna put them up and 6 months later they get tore down.
And what we're talking about out there is the West Y, the sign, the painted mural sign that's kind of awkward. It is kind of awkwardly placed in there, but that was the only private land we could get for that. And used to 66 was 2 ways right there. That whole stretch on the north side of 60, that's going away in the next year, 2 years. we may have to move our sign according to some of DOT's plans.
If we don't,
If we
got
don't,
nice
we
big
have
lights.
2 big lights to put up there, and if it's 2 years out, we might as well put the lights up. They'll sit there for 2 years.
Alright, obviously committee, volunteers are still needed. I have sign-up sheets if anybody's interested. We had donations to the chamber, from following businesses, Butcher Barbecue, West Y Enterprises, Mossy Milk Soapery, Walmart, Lisa P. Robinson, did Cincy's, and the Stride National Bank. That was all for our Wellston Fair, as prizes and or money into the account to help out with the expenses.
Excuse me, John, did you sure give you all the stuff in this?
Yes, I did that night.
Yeah, it
Okay, I
was
just
a
wanna make sure.
mistake on my part.
No, that's
yes.
all right,
Yeah,
I
She
just wanna
did.
make sure you got it.
She did, and I've got it that way. I didn't include it on there so we can use it on
That's
another.
fine.
I figured
just
she'd
wanna
be
make sure
okay
you-
as long as we used
yeah,
it.
Just make sure you got it, that's all.
Um, all the total, profit for us, from bingo, the hat, and, the raffles that we had on the Cincy stuff was a total of $552, that we'll get to put in from the fair. The commercial liability insurance policy was purchased. It was purchased through Danker Insurance with Liberty Mutual. Marcia has the full policy for us. We're gonna get you something. We don't want you walking around with a big old packet,
yeah.
but I'll get you a deck page or something to show that way you have
Well,
it,
if something happens,
have it
you
with
have
you
to
out
call
there
me.
at the farm and craft market.
Who do I call?
Yeah. A square swipe and chip card was purchased. I only purchased one right now till we get going, and we need more because it's not tied to one account. We can use this for both. As long as we don't have something going on the same day, we should be good on that. And I'll make sure you have it before each market
Well,
weekend too.
About that, I talked to, there's like 3 of those vendors, our main ones, and they have their own squares.
Okay.
They said they don't see a need for it, because nobody ever asked to use it for it.
Well, I know it'd be good for the chamber side, and then I just thought if it's there, I did, we also, I purchased within that, I purchased, fake money, to give out as, if they did, what would, come to pass is they would, we would charge the card to us and then give them dollars to go spend with the vendors, and then the vendor would get checked from
So
us
just like with
afterwards.
the
Just like with the
plates and the
SNAP,
SNAP program.
and that's what the coins are gonna be for, so we already have everything in place for that when that comes around. A Gmail address was, created today, at Wellston Chamber of Commerce at gmail.com. And that, I had to set it up for the square, so we had that, so my email couldn't be tied to both of them. So, but we will have that for future, anything we need it for, an email address for. The 4th annual Street Feast and Festival will be held on the 28th at 6. That goes back to what I was telling you about the full day, and we'll get into all that new business as well. Farmers Market Committee, do you have anything this week?
We had a really good turnout, was it last weekend, the week before? I don't remember.
Yeah.
So, we had a new vendor, and we should have another new vendor next month. Seems to be doing really well up there. I mean, the vendors seem happy that they're, getting close to selling out their stuff each time. I think in September, I should sell tickets up there for the feast, advertise that.
Yes, please.
So, really good.
How many guests do you think you had?
I think 25,
And how many vendors?
4.
So,
I was thinking, I stopped right when they were opening,
Mhm.
setting up, of asking the ice cream cart that sits up
Mhm.
at Levi's, if, market day, they'd start out next to the market.
They were
Well,
at
we
the
have to ask
community fair and I mentioned that to
Jackson
them.
about
Huh?
that? Have to get permission from Jackson's about that?
Well,
They're
if they're
completely
part of, if
self-contained.
they're,
Yeah,
if they're
self-contained.
part of the, coming
Yeah.
for the market.
It's a vendor for the market, so.
They're
Okay.
completely self-contained.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a little trailer they pull around, so.
It's like shaved ice,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's snow cones.
really
They're
good.
really good though.
Nice.
Really
Is there
good.
a place at the market to have some kind of flyer or something to point people downtown? Hey, while you're here, take this turn and go check out.
Yeah, because I have a display that, I have cards from, recipe cards from Odie. And
Well, that's wonderful. And honestly, I didn't even really know that was going on.
Mhm.
I didn't see the thing, so I should be down there anyways.
And in new business, I have some information you'll wanna hear regarding pushing stuff down here. So-
Yeah. Alright, the fundraising committee, painting, contest, as we already mentioned, selling the hot dogs and hamburgers. I did talk to Eric, I'm waiting to hear back from him to see if he would like to do, some live music for us as well while we eat, before we eat and during. I kinda figured that we probably aren't gonna be able to tie the car or Jeep show or anything in this time.
I've got some people that are interested, and I just need to get a commitment, from them, and my uncertainty on that was, with all the kids, I just didn't know if that would be a good idea.
Yeah. So,
Especially if there's gonna be potential for that many.
yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that, because I'm used to our school size, so I was just thinking, oh, we'll have, a potential of 300 kids or so, and we're talking, if you're talking 1,200, even if half of them showed up and all their family with them.
10% show up.
Yeah, even
Which is
10%.
probably a legitimate, yes.
100 with their families,
That's a lot of
that's a
people.
lot of people, so. It's probably best that we don't do it at this moment where we have so much other going on that day too. Social events, we don't have anything at this time. New business, discuss action on helping with the costs associated with the painting contest being put on by the art gallery. Like Dr. Palmer said, the associated cost is gonna be somewhere around $400 just for the supplies. That's not including anything else, the prizes or anything. Well, it did include, the ribbons.
It did include the
It did include the ribbons, but not the cash prizes. So, like I said, I am gonna try to get the cash prizes fully from the businesses if at all possible, and I think I can, so.
Split or what?
My proposal would be is that we would, what y'all thought about at least splitting it with them.
Well, what about if we see how much donations we get, and then the chamber makes up the balance?
Okay.
If it's,
So you're going to, solicit,
For the $600 for the cash prizes.
$600 for the
so there's
cash.
six,
So there's $1,000 just for the painting contest that day, between prizes and supplies. That needs to be, that we're gonna try to figure out, and I think as far as donations, we can cover, I can get covered the actual 600.
is this, have you done one of these before, or is this a new kind of I would assume in your
We're
vast
just
experience.
flying by the seat of our pants.
That's our motto.
I mean, I've done art shows before, but I've never done a street one. And the reason I chose the street is I thought, hey, if we get messy, we can just wash it off,
Well, where
But I
do you
wanted the
put
kids to do things they wouldn't
the,
do at home.
Price structure.
Well, I thought it would be, and to help draw in kids as well, and their families, if they got a chance of winning, a little kid winning $50, that's ton of money to them.
So you're doing 50,
So,
25,
50,
25, or-
35, and 15.
Okay.
And then, so
Per
it'd be
grade.
100 per grade, so it'd be 600, and then, said that it would be roughly $400 for the supplies, including the ribbons for each contestant as well, the winners.
I'd like to do some flyers too and take to all the schools.
I've got the flyers made up. That's where roughly we gotta have, and that's a cost that we gotta talk about as well, is 1,200 flyers of this size. I'll gladly drive them to each school. I've already contacted all the schools. It's not perfect yet, but it was something for tonight. And I would want to do that, like deliver them to the schools this Friday. That way they've got a whole month to let their, and it doesn't just do the painting on this flyer, it gives information that there'll be hamburgers and hot dogs there, and it'll be information that they can buy tickets that night as well, so maybe we can have a fun-filled day if a lot of people come, is my hope.
And what all goes on at the street feast? Is it just the crawfish boil, or is there other
Yes,
vendors
this-
that come in? Like I heard you mention music. I mean,
Last year we wanted to do a festival type deal, that's where we left the name. We didn't get really any interest as far as vendors, last year at all. Then we had the rain and it was cold, and so we ended up moving it in here, so it didn't really feel like a street feast. But we did move it back because we were having it the second Saturday in October, and we're dealing with weddings and hunting season every year, so we did move it and just took the Founder's Day off of it and made it a street feast. I would love to have vendors. Y'all know people that would like to come down for that. We can work out something.
We had a little opening day shindig. We
Yeah.
had some vendors out there. It wasn't a bad day. I mean, the people that sold their crafts and handmade items were pretty happy. Everybody was pretty happy with the turnout that we had. I spoke to a couple people, local musicians that would be willing to come down and
Oh, that'd be awesome.
talk about, like, a lot of people were interested in doing a sort of block party type deal. Get people down here, give people something to do.
That's what we want. And the festival is for all of us. We walk off the street. We'll walk off Cedar over there by the gazebo, and set up tables the whole way, and we'll have my idea was to have the vendors like in the park with the live music up in the gazebo and everything. We've had live music over there and stuff before.
Are we able to have beer vendors in something like that?
I believe so.
I mean, that would really
As long as they're,
I don't- yeah, I
as
mean,
long as they
live
have their
music and
own.
a little beer.
If they have their event license from the Able,
Okay.
Yeah, as
is
long
that
as
all
they,
they need? Is just as long as they have their event
as
license?
long as they have their event license.
yeah, we don't
I think you can do up to 6 a year if you have a catering license. So that would pretty much cover
currently,
us for.
our ordinance wouldn't prevent it. And it wouldn't, it would benefit the community.
We can reach out to a few vendors and see
And
what
that's
we
important.
can do.
Okay, I'll get with you later this week. I'll come by the shop.
I'm gonna sign up for the social events committee.
Okay.
You go for sign sheets?
Yeah, I got 'em. Well,
If they're free,
yeah, as long as it's free, I don't care. I mean, people
Well, if
can
we're
come
gonna
and.
have people roaming around from 10 o'clock in the morning, it would be nice to have.
I would love to have,
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah, and you'd have to have several because, or I thought, almost DJ style, I could bring up radio, and we have a couple speakers that would be loud enough to fill in the gaps, kind
I
of thing,
met
but.
a couple young folks that are musicians around here that have a decent little following. I could work out. I'd be willing to work out something with them for coming down.
I think a lot of times if you put a donation hat in front of, a lot
That's what
of
we did
times.
last time, and
they're-
they
they're
actually
happy
made pretty
with
good
that.
money.
Yeah.
When we did music in
Music in the park, it was just one, it was
Well,
just
that's
two
the thing. Some
people
of those guys I
singing.
was talking to, they just wanted a place to play music.
Yeah.
Can we contact the Turbine Bombers was that last year?
Good.
2 years ago?
Gosh.
The thing about it would be just organizing it, cause they'll wanna know when they would need to be there.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, but if I can we can coordinate what times they would like to be here to play, and then
Work out a schedule for
work
all
out
the
a
different
schedule with
bands.
everybody and say, hey, you got an hour or two, or however long they want, you know. I only got one or two bands they're willing to play all day, let them. So, I wouldn't mind music being out there, so.
All day long, it would be fun.
Just stay on this motion. So are we so you're gonna raise you're gonna try to solicit
I only
600.
need approval for how much we want to help out Dr. Palmer with his cost.
So,
Which is
I
the
mean,
$400.
like what Marcia said, if we can, do you have commitments on the 600 yet?
Not
From
all
anybody?
600, I got like 250, I think, right now. And I
Yeah.
haven't, I've only talked to 3 people, so.
If we could raise $1,000, that would be great.
Yeah, then it covers
And
all
then
of
that
it.
covers all of it.
But this,
So, so what are we
and technically it can
We
be
can make the
tabled because we
motion.
have it, because we have a meeting before this, that we can say in September.
Well, or we can make a motion that we'll cover half of the amount, if not covered by donations.
Okay, half of the 200.
Would that be?
Okay.
Half of the whole 1,000 or
No, half of the
Half of the
200, half of the 400, if not covered by
If not covered by
donations.
the donation. We're gonna try to raise enough to cover
We're
it
gonna try
all.
to raise it all.
Well, get out there.
No, I've been out there, I've been asking.
So,
I feel like we can. I don't feel like it would be a problem, but at worst case scenario, I knew we needed to vote for at least the 200, for half of that, if not raised.
so I make a motion to cover up to $200 if the entire amount's not raised.
Second.
All in favor?
Alright,
Any opposed?
motion carries.
You didn't.
I didn't oppose it.
Discussion and action on selling hot dogs, hamburgers, meal deals during the painting contest on September 28th from 11 to 1. We always do really good with this, and I think we have a potential of doing even better than we usually do with, if that could be, even like we said, 10% coming into town, that's added to our community, not counting how many people will come up. They'll see we're on the corner selling hamburgers and hot dogs, they're gonna stop and eat, so I think we'll do well with it. I don't think it'll be an upfront cost, but we'll make it back and then some.
My only concern is, we need volunteers.
That was gonna be my thing.
Historically,
I will cook.
And then,
And I know my wife will
but
be
we're
there to
cooking
help.
also for
For the
6
evening.
to 8 too.
Understand.
So we just need lots of volunteers.
So,
They
And I
also-
know it'll probably be a different group that,
I mean,
does the hamburgers and hot dogs versus comes back and helps with the,
We don't have. a
why
fair-
don't we see if the Legion wants to cover one part of that, and then maybe if we could split, or we could do something there, work out on them. That way we're not, they're working basically for for us. Or however, I would hope that we get more, but traditionally we have usually about 5 people show up for these events to work them.
I'm
If
more
we can
worried
split-
about getting the volunteers for the nighttime one myself.
that
If
we
it
need.
came down to it, me and my wife can run the hamburgers and
Well-
hot dogs by ourselves if I had to. I know I wouldn't, but if I had to, I'm not so much worried about that side. I just wanna make sure that everybody's okay and on board with it. With the buying, cause I don't know what that'll run. I don't know what we've spent in the past, and I assume we go run down to Ralph's.
Well,
They
last
always
time
give
when
us
we
a good
did,
deal.
well, actually, the hamburgers were donated.
Right. And I might be able,
Last time.
to get, and see this whole thing,
From
if I
Tills.
can get, I'm selling it to the businesses as, we're having all of this going on in town. So I'm hoping that I can raise money to cover, or, you know, if someone doesn't wanna donate cash, they can say, hey, this is going, I want this to go buy your hamburgers and hot dogs, which has happened before,
Yeah,
so.
well, I don't have a problem with it as long as we have enough help for the entire day.
Yeah, that's,
Because it's a lot of work to do the dinner, to set it up, and what hasn't been mentioned, for those of you who haven't been here in the past, is that we have we're doing the crawfish boil, but the members are supposed to donate a dessert, so that we're not buying that too. So everybody needs to make something to bring for dessert. So we have just servers for that, and servers to go around and fill drinks, and so
Well, I know
we need a
there's-
lot of people.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, it's okay.
I've been talking to a lot of folks in town, there's a lot of people that are looking for money that would, I mean, if we could allocate a certain amount of funds to just paying some people just at an hourly rate, I think it would take a lot of stress off if we know what we have in college. I know there's a lot of people that would, if we posted a sign-up sheet somewhere and said, okay, it's gonna be this much an hour, it wouldn't be that much money. And that way no one's stressing the day of, trying to figure out, I mean, I can guarantee me or mine will be there at some point throughout the day, one of us, so.
Like I said, I really wanna make sure that there's, cause like Mark said, the dinner is a lot of work. Setting up, serving, and tearing it all down is a lot of work. So that's definitely needs to be where our focus is. But I just didn't wanna lose out on the opportunity of selling lunch, because we're gonna be right across the street of potential, even if it's 200 people, it's 200 people.
and I see what you're saying, if we could afford to do that, to hire people out to do it, the funds that we really focus raising these funds on, because we're coming into, Christmas, where we have some pretty heavy expense also we have trunk or treat and the Christmas parade. And then we have our scholarships. So the money that we raise over these goes toward funding those three projects. And the margins aren't very high.
No, it's like I said, for the dinner, I mean, we're gonna charge 15 and 12 and for kids, and we're probably gonna be right at $10 a head in expenses without anything else. So we're literally gonna make, you know, maybe $5 profit and $2 off of, you know, kids, so.
I mean, we'll have it. I'll be there too, and if me,
Yeah.
you, and Melissa
I know,
cook,
yeah.
or do burgers and stuff.
Yeah.
And if we can pick up a couple more volunteers, but I think we should be all right. My house.
Is your dinner at the gym?
No, it's on the street, right over here.
Oh, it's on the
We
street
blocked the street
also.
off, yeah. So we'll just set up on the corner, that way if there is live music playing all day long, which would be awesome.
Have you talked to Corey at all about doing some sort of split thing?
Yeah, she's, everything I give her, she's kind of not giving me a straight answer, and I've got.
When's our next meeting?
Just right before this.
The Monday before.
It's the
Monday
Monday
before.
before. And see, the thing is, I gotta get the flyers out, so I need like
Right.
commitments tonight, so I can.
Well, I mean, I'm willing to make, personally, on my behalf, I will be there to help.
And I'm okay with if they want, if we talk to them after this meeting and they want to go in half with us to do the burgers and dogs.
And then we just
and we
split the
just
donation.
split the donation side of it, I'm good with that.
Because they have, also we can use a grill.
Yeah, they have a massive grill.
And we set up, we could also set, yeah.
We can set up
Ours, theirs is a lot easier.
Oh, it's a lot nicer. But, okay, so as long as we're good with the actual food cost.
Including another organization doubles our volunteer base.
Yes, that's what.
And there have got to be some high school students who need volunteer hours to come. Don't the chairs and tables come from the high school anyway?
Well, you're saying
Sure,
you're
wherever
gonna
they
need that for
come
their
from.
scholarships, I can count that
Yeah,
as.
that's true.
Absolutely.
Talk
For
to
the
the
dinner?
talk to the BPA teacher.
Talk to
He,
you.
he's He's interested in the kids doing community
Okay.
service projects. I suggested the painting project that's coming up, and you can suggest that one.
We don't have an art teacher at high school, we don't have art anymore, so the kids that took art last year need to jump all over helping. You and your artists aren't gonna be able to
Okay.
wrangle
So we
three
need-
kids.
Some
You're gonna need, there's gotta be FFA kids and DPA kids and
So,
even if they come for an hour, so.
as long as we, or, we'll try to ask.
So we may only be able to pay.
A handful.
Okay.
Handful, yes.
All right, so.
They must come with a parent.
On that one, John, I'll make a motion, to approve the selling of the hamburgers and hot dogs, on September 28th from 11 to 1.
With,
With partnering with the Legion Hall, if possible. If not, we'll do it on our own, but we are gonna try to ask them. She couldn't be here tonight, or I would ask her now.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? All opposed?
Pauses.
Alright, motion carries. Alright, okay, discuss action on adding the policy and procedures for the use of the square and market money and or market coins for the farm and craft market. John, you wanna or Marcia, you wanna touch on that?
Well, we briefly talked at the last meeting about how to offset the expense of the square for the market particularly, and that, so we need to have a written policy on what the percentage is that the square charges and how we add it to the,
Which I can tell you, if you don't know, the square is 2.75% of every transaction. It doesn't matter, it doesn't charge a monthly fee or anything like that, so, we won't be, we'll just
But
get
the-
out that 2.75%, but the market doesn't make any money off of that, so we can't let them lose money either, so.
right. Cause using the square at the market is just a convenience for, shoppers, so. And then we'll have to discuss what we wanna do in utilizing it for membership.
Lachelle, you said you spoke to most of your vendors and they all have square.
Yeah, they have said they have their own, but nobody's ever asked to use
Oh.
the card, so.
Yeah, so we do need to have a procedure that says,
We have something, but we need to get together
There's
and
also-
write it up.
but you have a checkbook for the
Yes.
market. Is it a two-signature check?
Yeah,
Yes.
That's-
Me, her, or it's me, Marcia, and Michelle. We need the three signers on that.
That would prevent a little bit of an issue because you're gonna write a check to the vendor for what?
So
So-
somebody else have to do it either with me.
Yeah. Or the day before, sign a couple checks.
yeah, we'll have to get together.
We'll have to get
On the
together,
side and
that's
discuss
for,
that.
yeah, table it to next, I just wanna bring it up, so. Alright, so we'll table, that until next month meeting, and we'll try to get together before then and put together something.
Does Arcadia use that? Do they have
It's up
coins
to
and
each
money?
individual vendor.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of markets or some markets that use market bucks where, and you can get some programs that do like certain events, they'll do double market bucks, or you can get,
And they'll do the
but it's,
seniors also, they give them a percentage.
and seniors get, once we get our,
The SNAP program.
SNAP program,
Yeah.
seniors get double
Double.
SNAP benefits.
For going to the farmer's market,
Yeah.
so.
So,
And that's what I got that for, so it'll be
we can
both
probably
for.
do more research on that, maybe see what some of the
Yeah,
markets are
we
doing.
won't have
on-
SNAP until next season, so we're starting the research.
Do you know if your vendors have had more business by being up by the barbecue?
Yes.
They have, better than downtown?
They sell out,
Do they?
and we didn't have anybody sell out down here, unfortunately.
And to put some context, we worked really hard not to move that up there. But it was a decision of, we didn't have any vendors, or we moved it. Literally, they said, we're not coming anymore if we have to come down there, because the last market we held down here, there was one vendor, and I was the only person that showed up at the market because I volunteered to run the market that day. And unfortunately, it was like that. Last year, we had some, at the beginning of it, we had some decent activity there, and then it just kind of fell off. A lot of that is, there's not a lot pushing down here, but also it's Saturday morning from 8 to noon. A lot of that traffic up there on 66, and the draw for farmers market a lot of times is visual. They see it. Josephine's over in Luther, their market, they experienced a lot of the same problems that we're having when we were down here. Arcadia Farmers Market, not so much. They're right there on 66. They have a beautiful pavilion, and you get a whole lot of visual stop by
So
traffic.
if anybody has land on 66, they want to donate to us.
One thing though we did talk about in previous is that we hold occasional farmers markets down here, or events, and push that traffic down here through targeted advertisement on an event like the Jeep show or what have you. But we did try to keep that down.
Is there any way that we could get together and talk to somebody? Because it sounds like the issue is just everything is private land. Is there any way that we could get together and maybe put together a fundraiser for us to just buy a portion, like a small portion of somebody's land that has good frontage that would work with us? Because Chamber of Commerce might have more success
There
than
is,
an individual business, and it'll eliminate these issues.
I'm
Yeah.
about buying, but maybe leasing, they might.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I've talked to
this.
Thomas about doing signs out there. If we can get like more people, maybe a cooperative, different chamber members want to throw some money into a big sign or something like that, there's a possibility there. What was the signage on that? It was, we looked at putting a sign up at Thomas's up there. He gave us a price. It was,
And we also were talking
was
about,
expensive.
trying to raise funds for a digital sign.
yeah, we tried to raise funds for a digital sign, but we need.
But I think you were talking about property, not sign.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a whole lot involved in buying a portion of someone's land. They would have to agree to split the lot, redo
Have it
the-
surveyed.
have it surveyed, split the lot, redo the legal
We
description.
could talk to, yeah, the Hancocks, or we could talk to Butch Melrose, because he currently has, there's the Pecan Cafe sign that Dr. Palmer kind of touched up.
And you need to know, I mean, I don't have anything to hide about this. I talked to Fat Daddy's, because he wanted a sign down there, and I priced it as low as I could do it. And I priced it at $1,000 a side. It's a big sign. I really don't care if Red Dirt Gallery is on it, but if you wanted all of it, it would really show up nice there. It's not an easy sign to paint. It's really been up, it's rusted, it's in a hard to get to place. And that's why I priced it as it is, because it's a lot of work.
I understand.
And it needs to be done well,
Right.
really. And I think my price was just too high, and he didn't do anything
And
good.
I'm not even just talking about any particular business. I'm just saying, like, I don't think that most people know there's even a downtown Wellston. I think they go through and it's like, oh, well, there's the gas station, and they keep rolling.
You're right, and historically it's been a problem since 1932, when they bypassed Wellston.
So
Yeah, I mean, it is, we'll just have to keep fighting to push it. Advertisement is key, and
But even if we all got together on that, the businesses got together and put the money in together to have us all on that
I mean, but
side.
I
So-
drove past it today. I mean, right there, where the baseball field, where you get to,
That's what we're talking
that's
about.
for sale right there. On the other side, we got that,
That's
Where
a
is that?
sign, it's not for sale.
It's not- yeah, there's-
Oh,
It's
it
for
is.
sale.
Yeah.
It's just-
that corner is Paul Whitney's. I mean, we could get a conversation probably going with him to see if he wanted to do something there.
I mean, that's some bear, right?
It's,
I assume we want to support the town, so I think we should do that.
It's definitely a conversation that could be started. Butch Melrose, I don't know what he charges for his sign there.
He hasn't, the Pecan Cafe are the ones that handled all the business part of it, and I just painted it, so.
If we, so I've started a conversation with, 2 weeks ago, I visited with Matt Pinnell, Lieutenant Governor, and the administration at the state level right now is wanting to push for rebranding Oklahoma tourism. And at the heart of that tourism rebrand is gonna be Route 66. So I got a little time with Matt Pinnell, and we're trying to start basically a cooperative with Arcadia, Luther, Wellston, Chandler, so that we can advertise our stretch of 66 at a state level. If you think about our stretch of 66 here, we have some really amazing stuff on it. I mean, starting at Arcadia, you have Pops, the Arcadia Farmers Market, the Round Barn. You go to, between there's the old historic gas station. You hit Luther, you have the Chicken Shack. They have 7 restaurants in Luther now. You have the Pecan Orchard. Then moving on to Wellston, we have the Red Dirt Art Gallery, your businesses. We have Butcher Barbecue, the Farmers Market. Then you have Seba Station, and then Chandler, you have a whole host of stuff in Chandler. So in October, we are going to be hosting a business roundtable in Chandler at the Interpretive Center, and we're going to be working over the next couple months to get stakeholders that are basically invested in our stretch of Route 66 to come together at that meeting. At that meeting, we'll have state representatives there. We'll have Matt Pinnell, hopefully. We'll have the director of Oklahoma Tourism. The key to really getting traffic down here is we have to make our stretch of Route 66 a tourism destination. So we need to be in magazines like the Gazette, Talk Oklahoma. We need to be advertising in Oklahoma City, in Edmond, because that's where there's millions of dollars just sitting over there of people that want to do something on the weekend, explore local. Route 66 has historically, or the communities through here have historically taken tourism for granted. We see people from all over the world come through here every single day, and they're not, nobody here in this area has targeted those people for advertisement. That is done basically overseas. 66 is a huge deal, and they have companies over there that put out guides for this area. Regionally though, the towns here, I have not spent money on advertising our stretch of highway. So we have to regionalize it. We have to work with Luther, Arcadia, Chandler, and we have to try to find a way to market it to local traffic. And hopefully we'll see y'all at that meeting in October. It's not public yet. I guess it probably is going to be when that video gets published, but we've set the date on it, and I'm working with Kimberly Adams. She's the regional rep for OG&E. They're going to help kind of form this up, and hopefully the state will put some money into advertising, whether it be print or billboard or what
The
have
other
you.
question I had was the underpass, that concrete. Are we able to paint that, or is that DOT?
No, that's going away.
That's what's gonna
That's
be
going to be
replaced
demolished
now.
here in probably, I think construction starts in 2020, and it's going to be about a 6 to 8 month construction window, and they're going to close 66 down. So 66 will be closed for six months. It'll be bypassed south of town. The bridge design has not been released yet, but I've talked to DOT or Turnpike Authority reps, and I was told, are you familiar with the Gathering Place in Tulsa? It's a huge park, and the Gathering Place has this earthen bridge, and it's actually a tunnel. So that's going to be that's the word, is that's what's going to replace that. It's going to look really, really cool. But, and this goes back to why we said we didn't want to put a permanent sign out there, they're realigning the westbound exit, so it's going to shoot straight in line with the turnpike and come out right at Bev's on Q. So you're going to have westbound exit, westbound entrance right there in the one place. That's going to change that whole footprint of that area. So
So when they close down in 66, they're gonna reroute them south?
Yeah, to, was it 930 Road? So, which will just basically a quick bypass around. The commercial route will still be 62 to 10, or 102 to 62 to 177, which would be, that's rough, but for residential traffic. And hopefully it'll be less than 6 months, but it is what it is. I mean, in our lifetime, we'll never have to worry about that.
It's gonna benefit us all in the long run.
What's that?
It's gonna benefit us all in the long run.
In the long run, yeah.
Yes.
It'll look really nice, and it's also going to be a 3-lane underpass. So you'll have 2 lanes and then a center there for turning, I guess. That's what I've been told. I've not seen the plans for it.
Is that part of the whole widening of 66?
Yeah, they're gonna prep that for the widening of the rest of 66. 66 will be wide from Lincoln County line, where it's widened at Luther, to 102 in 2 years. And that's their time frame for it. That'll be exciting. That'll be very, very nice. That'll save people's lives. So that's a big deal. But the tourism push for this area, it's coming. I'm really excited to hear what Matt Pinnell, the Lieutenant Governor, said about, 66 is at the heart of their tourism rebrand for Oklahoma, and we are 66. I mean, we are 66. We are the most accessible stretch of Highway 66 close to a metropolitan area. I mean, Bethany, but that is inside the metro. But we have a lot to offer it, and I'll put it to you, and it'll be on the town Facebook, and we'll do an advertisement of when this meeting is, and I'd like to see some of the business owners there, so that they can put in their input as to what we can do to push tourism. So that's kind of that news on that. I did have something else too, sorry. I'm not trying to hijack it.
You're fine.
We were awarded the Fresh Paint Days grant again this year, and we're gonna paint the old feed store, the Hammer PC building. So that will be on the 21st. It's gonna be it's a volunteer-based event. We need volunteers for it. September 21st, yes.
So the Saturday before our.
From 9 till whenever, it usually goes till 5 or so. But we're gonna have, I'm bringing my smoker trailer up there, we're gonna have barbecue lunch, and it's just a fun event. It really boosts the community, because that's gonna make, you're pulling into town, that's that first building you see, it's gonna look a lot better. A lot better, is that right?
Are they gonna paint
Oh, it's gonna look much better.
like all the sides or
We're gonna
just
paint
which
the
side?
entire building.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's a
And
big
we're going
project.
to put accent, the creative genius here is gonna
Yes.
help us with some stuff.
It's always scary when he keeps looking over.
But we're gonna have a lift donated. I picked up 50 gallons of paint today. So, but if you can put it, if you got
Roll it or spray it.
I hope we can spray it. Yeah. So I know some of the volunteers that came last year had sprayers. We'll have rollers, but for the kids and stuff. Last year we did the American Legion building, and we won most transformed building in the state. So it also put $1,000 into that fund so that we could use it for more projects for the town. So we actually have a little bit of a budget for this project, which is nice. Hopefully we win again this year, and even more money to go toward a project.
Can I muddy up this
You
just a little
can
bit?
just get it as much as you want.
Okay, for the paint day, he only has 2 colors. He has the wall color, which is kind of an off-white, and then, but there's some accents in the brick at the top, and we're gonna do that kind of a terracotta brick color. But I always wanted, when you come around that curve, some kind of image on that building. And I'd like to have some ideas of what you think would be nice. The city has a new logo that it's not on anything.
Not on anything. That would be awesome.
That or the American flag.
Or the American flag,
Or both.
Or both.
Yeah.
We're gonna make you really busy.
Well, you know what we could have is American flag, Oklahoma flag, and then your logo.
That would be awesome.
There you go. It's a big enough building.
That would be awesome.
And then coming around on the other side, later on down the road, I know
So what
it
do we
can't
need
all
to do
happen
to get
in
that done?
Well, the paint day is the 21st.
Yeah. Paint
But
days-
as far as like the logo.
But that,
we would just
I
need
think
to raise
would be
the
a
money to
great
be able
fall
to-
project.
Yeah.
In the paint days, the contest itself, you're really limited to the two colors they give you. And the only way we were able to get that is, I don't know if we didn't cheat, but we used the.
You did cheat.
I don't know. We used the trim color that we got as a shadow mural when we did that, the flags over Iwo Jima. And it turned out pretty,
Within the paint color.
it's within the paint color, so, that's how we were able to do that.
Can we use the
Plum.
trim color? Isn't our historical draw the bridge?
Brit, yeah, that's
So
not
do a
technically ours, but
shadow of the bridge.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's,
the county.
it's on the historic register.
it is on the historic register.
County
I really think, I mean, it's gonna be a pretty big transformation, just painting it.
Mhm.
And really, the winning comes to how many times you share it and go vote.
Yes.
We had a very heated competition with Fort Cobb last year.
Hey, we did.
I mean, we won, but,
And they cheated.
yeah. They did cheat.
They did.
They totally cheated last year, but I was told they're gonna fix that.
Good.
So on to the question, it can't obviously happen that day, but what would it take for us to get that done? For example, those three things on that side.
Gosh, Michael, put me on the spot. Normally, I would probably give Wellston a 50% discount, but normally I would charge around $5,000
For the whole side?
for that side.
Okay.
I tell you what you might do, you know, different towns, they raise money differently. Did you know I've had people to pay for murals by selling chicken noodle soup? And I've had people to pay for murals by putting a 55-gallon drum in the middle of the street and put donations needed. The day of the painting, we could have those different ideas and say, if you're willing to donate, or even put it on your Facebook that you're taking donations for.
Towards that.
Yeah, that's a big project. For me, it's like a 2 or 3 day project. And,
I think we could raise $2,500 easy.
really?
I think we could.
Well, it's just a matter of a lot of times just getting it out to the public and letting them
I
know.
think that's a great idea. Especially if it's gonna have the town logo on it and the Oklahoma flag and the
And see,
American flag.
that never goes out of style. I mean, it'll be pretty when it even starts fading.
Yeah.
Can you do
What's your
GoFundMe
town logo?
page for that?
Have you not seen the town logo?
Yes,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hang on. It's on the town's Facebook, website and Facebook page.
Yeah.
But
And
look how
it's on
pretty
the,
that eagle, wouldn't that, something like that eagle be pretty on, that'd be awesome.
Well, see, the other side needs to have the old Coca-Cola sign because it used to be on that building. It used to have a huge Coca-Cola sign.
Did you know Coca-Cola might even pay for it?
It probably will.
Well, so we talked kind of a little bit about that. I believe it was.
But it was on the side that we were gonna.
Well, it's on this side.
Yeah.
But Paula Hammersberg said she tried to do some research and couldn't find where it was. Let's see. Well, maybe if this will pull up. Well, that's the. So it has Route 66, the train, the river.
Who actually owns that building?
I don't know who owns it, to tell you the truth. John, do you know who actually owns the old food store?
And Whiting?
Ed Whiting.
That's a really good colors too.
Yeah.
Um,
American flag, Oklahoma flag.
So, and I don't even know how tall that wall is.
I could, 20 foot is what I estimated.
So in retrospect,
guesstimated.
if I'm gonna try to raise funds, how, on a 20-foot wall, how tall would
Well, how big will they be?
how big would each thing be?
Oh, they'd be big. I mean, we'd make it just fill that space
Just
up.
fill the
So
whole-
the
that-
flags themselves would probably, if that wall's 20 feet tall, we'd make them 15 feet.
Okay. So your plan is to fill the whole wall?
Right, yeah, we don't like negative space.
And I'll talk with the property owner. Oh, I've already kind of,
Doesn't some of your, when we were at that award ceremony, doesn't some of your Beautify Oklahoma, don't they fund some of those things? Do you remember when we were at that award ceremony?
I don't know. I can ask, I can find out. I don't know if they'll fund. I don't know.
Well, the
We
reason
can
I say
definitely
that
find
is
out.
they did, when I did Pocket City, they did their, when I did Duncan.
They
did
paid
theirs.
for some of theirs?
They did.
I mean,
that's
we
Beautify
pay
Oklahoma.
a membership fee to that, so it would be nice if they.
Yeah.
I will email Miranda, the ED there.
And they even won, I think, the contest.
Not
They
last
even
year,
got
we
some.
won.
Huh?
We won last year.
Yeah, you won. In a category.
There was like 7,000 categories.
7,000 categories.
That was the longest awards banquet I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any other comments, suggestions on what we can do for the chamber, for the town?
I do agree that a
Businesses.
music in the park event would be great. Like multiple bands like they were talking about. Like even aside
That
from
would
this
be-
festival. Like every so often have music in the park. I don't know if you guys heard anything about the I think it was one of the baseball teams, Little League or something, did a movie in their
Yeah,
baseball
we
field.
discussed that, you have to
was
pay,
great.
you have to pay
The
a
licensing.
license fee.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
so,
Yeah, we're gonna
yeah, cause
do-
what they do, what y'all did, they did Dumbo.
We're fixing to do Dumbo September 21st, and it's $435 for the license, for one time.
For one showing.
Yeah.
We just really can't absorb.
They make it
Yeah.
hard for small
Yeah.
organizations to do stuff like that. But I guess we could, what is it, public domain films, we could.
Right.
I don't know, what is a public domain
The newer
movie?
the
that-
film, the more it costs.
Charlie
So
Chaplin.
if you got an older film, a classic or something like that, it probably wouldn't cost you much.
Right, okay.
Like we did
Oh.
Christopher Robin, and it was $375, so it's.
And Disney is probably higher too, so.
Yeah, Disney's high.
And also, if we can get, I know this is kind of, at the town level, if we can get people actively involved in parks planning, economic development, those type of committees where they are, you know, giving ideas to the board of directors or trustees, we can actually start raising funds, and the town can start picking up some of these things through like a parks project or what have you. I know Hera has a really active parks commission over there, and they do movies in the park and, so.
One of the things I brought up before, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Carney did, something like that. They got a park and rec grant up there a few years ago, and built a brand new walking trail.
Yes.
Paved back down through their park over there, so.
And our funds that we're working on trying to get can
We
help
can get as
go for
much
those
as
matches.
$36,000 for T-set.
But we need, really at a municipal level or town level, we need a community engagement to help drive those activities. It's just, it's a problem that I think a lot of communities face, is just trying to engage the community and get people to show up at the table and
So, I brought it up before, and I got some sideways looks, and I understand, but Oklahoma City just put up a cannabis cup. They had lines so long, people couldn't even get in there, falling out. This is a big agricultural community. If we could get the Chamber of Commerce and the town behind sponsoring something like that, charge an entrance fee, and you're gonna bring people in, and it would make some real money for this town and give people a reason to come here, and that would change some serious things. And I'm gonna keep pushing for it, whether I have to do it by myself or whether I get the town to support me and make the town some money.
we're limited, an event like that, I know a lot of people came, that's a 20+ thousand attended event. We don't have, unfortunately, we're only 1.4 square miles.
I mean,
You
we
know,
have the firework area out there. I mean, like I said, we get the town involved.
are you talking about like out there on the, see, that's not in our, where where they set up the fireworks tent, that's not in our municipal boundaries.
Even so, it's private land and
Right,
they
right,
set up there.
absolutely.
And that brings money to the town. There's plenty of space. And then
And you could push that, and I'm sure the chamber would probably get behind you on a lot of that stuff, and you wouldn't need, you wouldn't have to go before a town council or anything to do an event like that there.
and we could also start
That's
small.
all
That's all
Just-
private land, like you
Yeah,
said.
again, the American Legion's been very kind in letting us use their lot. We can do even something small there, just a very small little block party type festival for the local ag folks that want to come in and they have their home grows and they want to show off their stuff and talk with their friends about what's going on and bring people in.
I don't think you'd have any problem pushing something like that through, or doing it. I mean, we don't have an event permitting process, as of right now. I mean, that might change as we update our ordinances just to make things, consistent, and up to date. But I don't think you would have a problem with them doing an event like that. I mean, I would, and I'm not leadership of the Legion, but a member there, and I would say that, I don't foresee them pushing back on that. They meet the second Monday.
Second Monday.
Yeah, I got too many meetings on the second Monday. Just show up over there and talk to Corey. She's the commander there, and or join if you're. Yeah, join. We always need new members there. So, because that's the whole reason why that park was opened up like that, was to push community events through there.
We had the health fair here last week, and really went well. We had probably between 200 and 250 people come through.
I
the
got
gym.
my free Fitbit from the Kickboot Drive up.
So it went.
I'll let them
really
tell
well.
me that I'm pre-diabetic. So, I got a free Fitbit. That was a good event.
It was really successful.
That was a really good event.
Can I ask you a question? It's primarily towards you. Is there a problem with having kids around your business?
No, they can come in as long as the parents would.
Okay, and you're saying they can even come in?
Yeah, as long as they have a parent.
Okay. I didn't know
So
that.
it's not the.
So it's not, you don't have to have a card to come in?
No, a lot of these businesses around here, we're trying to get ahead of other states' laws. We don't have it set up like that. It's like walking into the clinic. You can walk in, talk. It's very comfortable. We don't have bouncers and glass set up. It's
That's probably something that, I mean, I'll share that around with people, because I think a lot of people have the idea that, you have to have cards to go in.
no.
Because a lot of the other
We do
places
patient
you do.
drives.
Do y'all do other stuff there besides, do y'all sell like CBD and all that stuff?
We're getting to it. We got a little bit behind just opening up and everything. I'm trying to play catch up, but we will.
We do have, we do have T-shirts, and not just our T-shirts, we have from other vendors.
And when we got the
Big
vendors in,
house.
we were trying to kind of like
So
make a
y'all-
little boutique there and support local.
So y'all have
artists,
some
things
retail
like that.
stuff.
We do.
have some retail stuff.
Okay. I didn't
We
know
do-
that.
we
That's
do-
good information.
We also do patient drives every other
Good
Saturday,
question.
so if you know someone that needs their card, they can come in on
Next one's on
Saturday.
the third
I didn't know
or first.
I didn't know that at all.
I assumed it was like,
I figured you'd
like
have a
smoke
card
shops and
to
stuff,
get in.
you at least had to be a certain age to go in, but.
Well, I think actually you can take your kids in the liquor store.
Mm-hmm.
They have some.
Was because you can go into Walmart and get it, so.
Randomly back to Street Feast for a second.
Okay.
Are we gonna have other vendors like Daisy Mays? Would they wanna be there during the day while we're doing hot dog vendors?
That would be a good day.
Yeah.
I think we even talked to,
I'll-
were y'all gonna set up something there to help?
Heard of me. I mean, we will. But I haven't really this is the first I've heard about it. I wasn't at the last meeting.
Yeah.
I thought,
she said they were probably, that they really wanna, we didn't know if we were gonna do an all-day deal until
You
we
know,
got with
there's
our
a snow
farmers,
cone
so.
machine out of, Chandler. It's got his, Tony Wilson, he's got his machine over there.
Well, we got, Dustin Crenshaw now with Jason Mays, he's here too, so,
You know, there's
they
several.
live here, so I offered to them first, but.
No, I'm just.
busy, then we could find somebody else, that would be great.
Yeah.
We had some of that set up over there,
I mean-
and then there's another one that's, that they use, that's really, that goes a lot. I can't remember the name of it, I'll have to get that back to you, but they've got food and stuff that they sell out of it. Tony had he had snow cones, but there was another food vendor there, there's several of them in the chain
Yeah.
over there, so.
Would, you think any of the people that came down for your guys' event, be willing to come down that day and set up, see if they can sell their
I
product?
believe so, that's what we were just talking about, and we're gonna reach out to, a couple other businesses.
Okay. I'll get with you on the particulars of it and we'll make a good day of it.
and just some information for the business in town, the pharmacy closed and the clinic has sold.
Are they gonna
They're gonna
reopen?
stay open, but the ownership changed.
Okay.
But
Is the
pharmacy
clinic
is
staying, I
closed.
mean, the pharmacy's staying closed though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the pharmacy.
I forgot about that. No, I think y'all's business is the last one to open in town, isn't it? Since our meeting.
Most recent.
Yeah, most recent one.
I don't foresee the clinic ever really, but they do a lot of quite a bit of business, so I think
Yeah.
they'll stay open. I just think the ownership changed.
Okay.
But the pharmacy is closed. I don't know what they're gonna do with that space.
They got any other comments?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.